X Prize Cup, and did you accomplish it?
Well, it's really exciting to come to the X Prize Cup to find out who's here, what kind of people, what kind of exhibits, activities. It's really been fun and exciting, and I think the most productive thing about it was the executive summit that was on the first day. There are about 150 people selected by Peter Diamandis to come in and talk about the entrepreneurial space efforts that we're all involved in. There were a lot of potential funders there, and it was just a great informal opportunity for 11 hours of networking on both the technical, political, legal, financial arenas, and it was very productive and worthwhile.
Could you tell us a little bit about Benson Space?
Yeah, I founded Benson Space on September 28th after about 8 or 9 months of analysis and thinking about it. And Benson Space is going to become a customer of publicly traded space dev. Benson Space wants to contract with Space Dev to build a NASA HL-20 and have the HL-20 populated with Space Dev's safe hybrid rocket motors, then go through a envelope expansion flight test program, and then deliver the prototype to Benson Space, at which time we'll then contract for one or more commerce-ready, FAA licensable commercial suborbital tourism rocket ships.
Could you tell us a little bit about the technology behind Dream Chaser?
Sure. The NASA HL-20 was designed at NASA Langley over a 10-year period and was based on the Soviet Union BOR-4 that flew to orbit successfully 4 times, re-entered 4 times autonomously. It's a lifting body that's very safe. It's self-righting, gives you carefree re-entry from orbit. So we're using the HL-20 space taxi as our vehicle design, and that gives us the ability to evolve from suborbital to orbital if we're successful on the commercial suborbital business prospect.
I don't know if you heard earlier today, but Buzz Aldrin endorsed the HL-20 design for you, and it almost sounded like he was endorsing what you were doing. How do you feel about that?
I've been working fairly closely with Buzz for the last several months. He's one of our advisors. I think very highly of him. He's literally a genius, extremely well educated. He's an astrophysicist or aerodynamicist, I'm not sure. He's just absolutely brilliant, and I'm honored to be associated with him and get his advice and his help and his support. And it's just one more endorsement from Buzz of the HL-20. And by using the HL-20, the reason I chose that is it's an existing, proven design. By adding our existing, proven rocket motors to it, we've got a leg up. We've got a head start on everybody else. And that's why I think Benson Space is going to be first to market in suborbital space tourism.
Can we hope to see Dream Chaser here pretty soon?
Well, I'm thinking about that. As much as I've liked this event, it's very eclectic in terms of rocket belts, space elevators, rocket racing, lunar lander simulations, XCUP prize activities, other ones, and it seems as though commercial suborbital space tourism isn't really a focus, although there are a lot of us here, and this has been a great meeting place for us. I'll have to see how it evolves next year.
How do we need to get out to the general public more about space tourism?
Well, I really think that companies like Benson Space Company really have to be successful. We have to keep things elegantly simple, practical, safe, inexpensive, and just move forward with concrete results and not a lot of publicity and puff and fluff. The public has been disappointed many times by promises over the decades, and I just want to, start bending the metal, so to speak, and building and test flying and let the results speak for themselves. Once we start flying these vehicles, the public will naturally get excited, but just puffing them up, is not necessarily the right thing to be doing.
How would you alleviate their worries about safety given, the tragedies with the space shuttles?
Well, I think the space shuttle, was good technology for when it was built, but that was 30 years old. And with the massive amount of propulsion that it needed and the foam and just the overall design of the vehicle is just, outdated now. And I think there's no comparison between the Dream Chaser HL-20 vehicle, which is only 2 or 3% the size size of the shuttle and doesn't have cargo capacity. It's strictly a passenger vehicle. So I think using SpaceDev's safe hybrid rocket motors, a lifting body design that's inherently safe, self-righting, carefree reentry, a long glide path with the ability to move from one airport to the other should the need arise. We're looking at safety first in everything that we do, and I think our test program will show how safe it is.
Short-term goal is suborbital, then orbital. What are the long-term goals?
Well, long-term goals of Benson Space are to use suborbital commercial space tourism and the profitability to hopefully do an initial public offering, an IPO, and then to use the proceeds from that to fund SpaceDev to do the orbital version of Dream Chaser, and the rest of the proceeds to continue on with my original intention of using natural resources in space. If we want to go to space to stay, space has to pay. We have to find commercially profitable things to do in space, not government programs from Earth. So once we start earning profits in space, say from the natural resources there, then we can start building a space economy that'll be self-sustaining, and more people will be able to go to space, live in space, and work and play in space, and that continues to be my long-term goal.